Welcome back to Ego Reviews. I'm Eddie.
I'm Jip.
And I'm Moose.
Today we will be reviewing Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Directed by James Cameron.
The GOAT.
Who's also directed Terminator, Titanic, Avatar,
Terminator 2, Aliens, True Lies, The Abyss.
This man has the two highest grossing films of all time in Avatar and the Titanic. Does Avatar 2, The Way of Water, live up to James Cameron's expertise and our expectations?
Yes.
Why do you sound like Sonic? Yes!
Considering this has been 13 years into waiting, I think James Cameron nailed it. He came back in full force. You can see his growth as a director. There's a lot of elements from his other movies, and he just built on top of it. This is also a movie you really have to watch in theater, and this is probably one of the best visual effects I have ever seen. And it's okay if you pee, because he wants you to watch it again.
No.
I have mixed feelings on this somewhat. On the technical aspect, this is a visual marvel to look at. I can just watch it again, not even caring about the characters or story, and just gaze at what's being upon us. Like, you can take every little shot and use it as a screensaver. Beautiful. And the visual effects are just astonishing. I see why he waited this long to achieve what he wanted to achieve. If he wants to create all these Avatar spectacles, then let him do so, because they're just gonna be beautiful to look at.
I don't think that it'll be the biggest blockbuster ever that he's made. I don't think it'll live up to Titanic and Avatar, just because with newer things, people tend to shy away from them and hold on to that nostalgia and not give it an actual chance. This, in fact, to me, is a better film, but the story was lacking.
It's too much story, and at other times, it's not enough. A huge chunk could have been cut off. That runtime is intimidating at 3 hours and 10 minutes.
You can't sum up the experience quickly, and so it was experiential filmmaking. That was the primary goal.
I just feel that this is what Wakanda Forever wanted to be. A conflict between two sides, the introduction of Mexican seamen.
Lots of water.
Study of water. I say water was the biggest problem. If you can solve water, all water, anytime until the end of time, what makes it a better movie is the water.
I think this movie kicked Wakanda's butt. Disney has the most money in the world, the most money in the movie industry, yet Avatar 2 Way to Water is one of the most beautiful CGI I've ever seen. This movie kind of has the same flaws as Wakanda, but it's a bit more excusable because, for one, the third act is way more interesting, way more potent, and way more exciting.
Follows our main protagonist, Jake Sully, but in this movie, he takes a step back. Him and his wife take a step back, the kids take the forefront, and he learns how to become a better dad, to give away leadership to find out what's right, and to ultimately save his family.
Movie about family.
I think that's a common theme now. Like, Fast and Furious have ruined cinema.
Family.
The backseat of Jake and his wife kind of was a detriment to the film, just because the fact that we waited 13 years for this, it was so long awaited that I wanted to see more of these characters, and we will see those characters in the future. However, I feel like that was a little bit off-putting.
I, for one, enjoyed the new direction they were going with. I actually ended up loving most of their characters, and I found all of them to be pretty relatable. The premise is they just meet this new tribe, and they're trying to get along and learn their culture, their skills, and how to not be useless. And this movie actually really takes its time to really build its world, almost like a slice of life film, and I really enjoyed that.
The world building was insane. My guy was Riz-tastic. Riz-tastic. My man hit her with, hey. Some of the characters were like kind of not fleshed out too well. You had like some of them there for comedic value, but then others had this sort of story that seemed to be going somewhere but actually went nowhere and added no value. The movie had a large religious element to it. There was a lot of hints at Immaculate Conception with the Kitty character, because they explained how she was conceived with no notion of who the father was and just who the mother was. And that reminds me of Mary, Mother of Jesus. She did have some miracle elements in her character as well, which came to fruition in the third act.
Another cool little detail that I liked was that tribes were different shades of blue, and also different features on their bodies as well.
Yeah, like humans.
Since we already know these established characters, we just had the Avatar throughout the entirety of the film.
The lack of humans actually made the movie better. Adding a character like Spider or Tarzan, he had dreads and everything. Appropriation, by the way. But anyways, showed you past reflections of Jake trying to become an Avatar because he fell in love with the people. But I don't think it really was necessary for this movie. I think he was just annoying.
The funny thing was, he acted more feral than the actual Navi.
It did not work for me. But that's the thing with these Avatar movies. They kind of feel like tech demos when we get advancements in like a PlayStation where they're like, oh, check out how cool this looks, and it's not all quite there, but it looks really good.
This should be a video game.
Absolutely.
Yo, this whole movie felt like an entire video game.
They have an Avatar video game.
They do, yeah. It was actually pretty good.
Titanic came out in 1997. What does it deal with him taking like 20, 13, 15 years to make movies?
James Cameron, I believe he was an engineer. He wants to just implement all these ideas that he has, and he really can't do that. We didn't have this insane amount of technology to provide these Avatar stories, and now we do. The technicalities are all there, but the story really isn't. I don't think it's the story that's taking him a long time. It's just what he wants to show us and what he wants to entertain. Just like how Tom Cruise wants to go with these crazy stunts.
They didn't know Tom Cruise does his own stunts. Sea Girl, Mexican Sea Girl.
Oh,
2 hours later.
Batty! Ooh, sweet baby Jesus. As soon as she stepped on, she showed her face, I was like, ooh. To be fair, this movie had some of the most creative kills I've ever seen. The mom, badass. These kills beat out kills in movies such as like John Wick. Bruh. They're creative, like bow and arrow. She had one arrow for an entire kill montage.
You don't want to mess with her. And then we have a really bad villain.
G.I. Joe.
Quotations on bad, because I actually love the fuck out of it. There was a point in the movie where he had his gun on the entire family. He did not shoot. He wanted the 1v1. He wanted to square up.
Captured them like 5 times. And the movie even made fun of it.
It was looking like Bowser out here. Oh, your princess in another castle.
Prior to seeing the movie, I actually thought that them becoming part of the Na'vi, I thought that would work way more than it did, but it honestly came out kind of flat.
I thought he was gonna be like a double agent incorporated into their ranks, but the whole time he's wearing a military vest, so you could tell it's him, even though you know it's him from his 1940s baby boomer buzz cut military laptop. I just thought he would be implemented in a way different way.
And his only motives were because, he kind of made me look like a fool in the first one, so I gotta get back at him now.
He wasn't even like the head honcho. The head honcho was some old lady in like an exoskeleton, and she was the one who sent him on a mission, supposedly to test out if the blue people would trigger like the animals or whatever. The movie just completely forgot about her. I did not see her at all. What are you guys doing?
There were no dire consequences. Jake tells the story from beginning to end. I like that aspect of it, but being an intelligent being myself, I would like to proclaim, I can understand when someone is going to survive throughout the whole movie. Jake's character kind of became a little dumber in this movie because it's like, you're a military expert, you were the leader of this whole entire tribe, and you don't understand that running from your problems, he's still gonna follow you every single time.
He's ruining another clan, and I feel like that's such a selfish thing to do. Not only are you ruining their environment, but you're also ruining their lives. Way more demanding in the first. In this one, for some reason, as soon as they're trying to attack, he wants to take a step back and not really go forward, whereas in the first one, he wanted to do nothing but fight back.
But maybe James Cameron is a genius because he still has the sky people within him. Maybe that's the human selfishness inside of him in the blue people.
Or
I'm joking. He definitely didn't think of that.
It could be a result of him becoming a father, wanting to put down his arms. But at the same time, you are the leader of a clan. The new tribe was just too easy. You have a person who's the leader of a new tribe just giving into everything Jake's saying.
Without even knowing exactly who this other tribe is. When did they have their first encounter? We don't know.
Just kind of became friends and it was kind of boring. Only the kids ended up fighting with each other, which I like that whole scene.
I know what you're thinking. Overall, what would you rate this movie, Giancarlo?
I have been waiting for this movie for 13 years. I've been saying I'm a big fan of Avatar. Fuck everyone that has been making video essays saying first Avatar sucks. I love Avatar. This movie was awesome. It is up there with Top Gun, and dare I say, even better in some aspects.
If he doesn't get the hot take thing,
That's a hot take thing.
That's a hot take.
This movie was gorgeous. It was stupid, but it knew what it was. Every scene is like art. Abstract, glowy, colorful. This movie has so many set pieces and your tear jerkers and your world building. And this is a movie made for cinema. 4 out of 5.
It was rated Ooze.
There's not a lot of things in life that can actually get me to jerk to tears. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this actually almost got me to cry because of certain scenes and certain emotional aspects. I do think it's carried a lot by the visuals. I think the world building carries the film a lot, and the story is lacking, and we don't get too much of our protagonist, which I don't like, but I understand why it happens. It gives me God of War vibes, how Kratos takes a backseat and becomes a father, but it's still a fun watch. I would watch it again. Unlike my partner over here who wants to marry this film, I have not been waiting 13 years for this. I don't care for another Avatar movie, but I will watch it. But it gets the blue stamp of approval, 4 out of 5.
I saw Avatar 1, surprisingly, not in theaters when it came out. My first watch was, I think, about a year or so back. I thought it was pretty good. I actually really enjoy it, and I will continue to watch it. It's one of those rewatchable movies, an achieving thing to do in cinema. I was not overly eager for this film. I will watch any Avatar movie. I will watch any James Cameron movie. The thing with me is that it kind of sucks that James Cameron decided to just fuck all over his other ideas. I'm gonna do Avatar for the rest of my life, and that's it, because he has made some of my favorite movies, and Terminator 2 and Aliens, which I adore. This movie is a little frustrating for me because it's so beautiful and gorgeous. At the same time, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't work. I can watch this again, and I will watch this again in the near future. I'm still a little torn. Honestly, I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5. My ratings do change upon rewatches. A past movie that we didn't get to review was Nope, and upon first viewing, I wasn't really too sure on it. I gave it also a 3 out of 5. Upon seeing it countless times, it's my favorite movie of the year. I believe Avatar 1 is better than Avatar 2, The Way of Water. I will stick by that. Wakanda Forever is the better movie. I don't care.
Ding, ding, ding!
If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe. Turn on that bell because we are the best reviewers in the market. That's why we're called Ego, baby. And if you've seen the movie, let us know what you think. Let us know if it's better than Avatar 1.
Everyone can have their own opinion, and let us know your favorite James Cameron movie down in the comments. That's it from us. We're Ego.
I so blue. Live in 5, 4,
Okay, Freddie Benson.
3, 2. I know you see.
Freddie Benson.
Sometimes the world can change to me and be so wonderful. Dun, dun, dun.
Live life.
Be there.
Be there. I know we're gonna get there.
I know somehow we're gonna get there.
Wonderful. Ding, ding. It's all for real.
I can't believe this is happening.
I'm telling you just how I feel. So wake up the memories of our nation.